Young Girl is the #1 on the bestseller list for the New York Times. It has maintained that status for the past 10 weeks. It is endorsed by J.K. Rowling. She is quoted as saying that this particular novel is one of the top novels, and that Gillian Flynn is certainly an author to be considered seriously. That's all I have.
Excellent. Excellent. For those watching at home, what we're doing here, let me have Mrs. Mulhollan tell you. We're here with her 11th period English literature. Okay. Melissa Mulhollan, tell us what we're doing here in the studio and what our hopes are for the future.
My students are presently reading some novels that they elected to read, kind of with my guidance, because because they're my academic students, I expected them to read at a 12th grade reading level. So some of the books that they picked really weren't necessarily ones that they would have picked if I hadn't had these type of requirements in place, but they may do. They picked what they could, and at this point we're finishing up our reading. Presentations are very important, and I've had them write a number of different papers, so at this point I wanted them to do some type of presentation on what they read. And instead of, I also wanted to incorporate the Keystone exam information piece with it, and so one of the sets of terminology in the Keystone exam has to do with propaganda techniques and persuasive tactics, which are oftentimes used in advertising. And so instead of having the kids just get up and do a presentation or a PowerPoint, the typical type of stuff that we always do, I thought it might be interesting if they did their very own commercial and integrated with digital media here
That's
in the
outstanding.
IT Academy.
And we're also hitting the soft skills too, like as you said, the presentation skills.
Right.
You know, a lot of times we'll hear this, right? Well, Adam, they'll tell you, you know, when we first start out here, we throw the kids on the webcam, we throw them up there, I don't like being on camera, I don't like the way I look, or I don't like the way my hair is, you know? And I always say to them, you know what? Then how do you think an employer that is sitting across the desk from you is going to view you, right? This is an opportunity for you guys to hone your self-image and to be the best that you can be. And, you know, looking at yourself on camera, it can be painful and it can be eye-opening at times, but it really gives you an opportunity to be the best that you can be. You're seeing yourself how other people are seeing you. So these are valuable skill sets along with the academic prep for Keystone that you're going to be bringing to you. This is great. Fun stuff. So what do you guys think? What's your book?
It has something to do with science. It is The Elegant Universe by Brian Greene.
Mm-hmm.
This book, he explains how basically the world works and how we are from cells down to electrons and neutrons, even farther down to the string theory.
Wow.
She went into a nonfiction genre.
Outstanding. How about you? What book are you going to be focusing on?
Frankenstein.
Oh, Mary Shelley's, the classic?
Yes.
Outstanding. Autumn, what's your book?
Robinson Crusoe.
Very nice. How about you guys?
The Last of the Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans. What about you?
Patriot Games.
Outstanding. That's great. Okay, so what we can do, I would suggest working with our production team here, start out by creating an outline of their presentation using standard PowerPoint. Get us the PowerPoints. We can work here with the crew to jazz them up, make them look a little bit nicer. We'll record you guys giving your presentation. You're watching on the teleprompter as you're reading. And then you can work with a video editor. We'll assign somebody to work with for you guys and put the graphics over your shoulder. You can pull some stuff off the web if you want to get book covers, whatever, you know. And it doesn't have, you don't have to go nuts. And it'll look like a real news piece. And then you guys will have something really nice. Maybe down the road you want to use it in their senior project DVD or something, you know.
And I will tell you, too, I am obviously acclimated to the idea of speaking in front of a group of people. And for me to be up here, it's intimidating. So if you guys are intimidated, if you're like, oh, my God, I don't want to do this, I get it. But at the same time, we need, like Mr. Ettaro said, we do need to hone your presentation skills. This is something that should be fun. If you botch it up, it's not a big deal. You can, you know, it's not live. You can go back and we can tweak it and fix it. And so it's not something that I expect you to be perfect at the first time. I don't expect you not to be nervous. But I do want you to try to have some fun with it despite some of those reservations you might have.
Well, Adam, come up here. Tell them how we get over the fear factor in digital media. I mean, we do have a good time here, right? We do push the kids, right? Yeah? He's like, I'd be like, I'm going to say the wrong thing and he's going to get mad at me and yell at me. No, we have a great time, guys. We really do. It's a very lax environment. Usually you come in here, we got the DJ system going and music's thumping and, you know, it's like a television show. So just relax. And the bottom line is always the bottom line. It's about you guys. If you are proud of your work and you want us to show it and put it up on the website, we'll use it and we'll put it out there. If you don't feel comfortable doing so, we're not going to force you to do something that you don't feel comfortable with. So it doesn't have to go beyond this room unless you want it to. Okay? So this is great. What kind of time frame are we working on to get this done?
Well, I don't know. How long do you guys think you need? Because I usually let them decide.
Right now, we're putting the yearbook to bed, and we just finished up Noctis, so all my year-end activity.
So we're good.
Next 3 weeks, it's all about this kind of stuff. So we can make it work for you guys.
How long do you think you need to prepare your commercial?
I'd say since Monday is our last day to read, maybe the end of the next week.
Like by Friday?
Okay.
Put together a nice PowerPoint. How long with these presentations? What's your criteria?
How long are most commercials? 30 seconds.
30-second, like a 30-second TV
Honestly,
commercial? Is that all you're looking for?
I think we're looking at a 30-second to a minute maximum.
I think that's a great exercise, too, because one of the things that we pound here, the kids a lot of times will say, you know, we have a message that we want to get across. Right, Adam? And you got a minute to get it in there. It's difficult, isn't it? Because you have to really, really focus your thoughts and get right to the point and get in and out within 30 seconds to 1 minute. That's writing copy for advertising. That is a real skill. If you can say what you need to say, unlike me, I go on and on and on.
You take the main idea
You know?
out of the text.
Absolutely.
The main idea that you're trying to get across too, that you think is the most valuable from what you read, that's going to entice other people to want to read the materials.
And I can
And if
guarantee
you
you.
don't like your book, that's going to make it challenging, but that's what people, even in the news media, have to do all the time. Maybe you went and tried a product and you're still required to do an ad for it saying that it's wonderful. This would kind of give you an idea of what that's like. And what if you can't stand the president, but you have to write a news piece about how wonderful he is?
Yeah.
That's very challenging to do. But it's
Or if
it's
you're an
also-
actor up on the stage or a newscaster
Right.
presenting something that you may not necessarily agree with.
And it also teaches you, I mean, and this sounds ridiculous because some of you are not going to go into those types of fields, but everybody in their line of work will at some point have to keep their mouth shut, even if they don't like what their boss or somebody else is saying or doing, because ultimately somebody else is in charge of you. And so this is good practice for you to just learn how to get along and promote something that unite. Like there are rules in the school that I must enforce that I don't necessarily agree with. But I'm not in charge of that. I don't create those rules. So that teaches you something in life and how to do some of those things that are not always comfortable.
I think this will be a lot of fun. And you can even choose music that you guys want to. You know, well, we showed you some of the video. On the way out, we can show you what we got going on here. You can work with the boys in the back and actually create original music, an original music bed to go along with what you're doing, the style of music that you like. I mean, we can have a lot of fun with this. So, yeah, get us your PowerPoints as a start. Let's take a look at her video. Come on over here, guys. Okay. Now you can see what we did here. Lakin, I guess somebody went ahead and did this and threw this music bed over top here. Or not music bed, but a video background. And what we can do, what was your book?
My book?
Wild Girl or something.
Make author. And she is now listed as #1 on the bestsellers list.
Okay. Here, hold that. Okay, so what we can do, it was called what?
Gone Girl.
What do I do?
Gone Girl? If I pull that up on the web, it's nothing inappropriate that's going to show up.
I don't think so.
Gone Girl.
It's not like I said
Book.
50 Shades of Grey.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that would
All right,
not be
so there we go, right?
Yep.
So what we can do here is, for instance, when you're thinking about what you guys want to do, we can go grab a copy, do a save as, and you guys can direct our team to work with you to get these kind of graphics for you. And we will say Gone Girl cover. We'll throw that on the desktop, and then we'll move this over here.
Here's one thing I try to do too, especially when I'm getting a picture taken or I'm going to do anything like this, and it
Put
doesn't
that or
look
her,
like I'm
she's
doing
talking.
it right there because I have my hand on the desk, but posture is imperative.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if there's anything I can't stand, it's people who are hunching around and acting like
Skulking.
people believe what you're saying if you have that confidence factor, even if you don't know what you're talking about. So there's this, like I was noticing even at prom, all these people are dressed up and look great, and they're walking around like this.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And projection of your voice is crucial as well. What we call articulation, speaking clearly and enunciating your words. So check this out, how easy this is to make this look great, right? We can take her, we move her a little bit over here, take her clip, and we'll move her a little bit to the left, okay? We will take this graphic, we'll throw it on the timeline as she's talking, and we will shrink that, wrong clip, shrink that down a little bit, and we'll put that over her shoulder like you would see in a newscast as she's speaking. And then we can change the graphics and pull things up as she's talking and add all kinds of different effects to it if we want to really make it look like television.
And I made that whole thing up about J.K. Rowling.
And you can see how nice this looks and
She
sounds.
never endorsed the
By
book.
Gillian
I just
Flynn.
lied.
Gillian Flynn is a new and upcoming author, and she is now listed as #1 on the bestseller
There you go.
list. Everybody is trying to get on board and do the.
So, for a 30-second commercial, you guys do your read. By the time you're back in your classroom sitting down, we could easily have something produced for you guys. It'd be a lot of fun. We'll have a good time. So we appreciate the opportunity to help you out.
Which, by the way, I did not know the author's name for Reconstructing Amelia. I made that up while I was sitting there. And I also made up the idea that how many weeks it had been on the bestsellers chart. I also made up the fact that J.K. Rowling endorsed it. So, again, it's all about just acting like you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? That's probably how I got through college.
There you go. All right, well, guys, thanks for coming in. Do we have any questions? Good? Okay, cool. You should be excited about this. It'll be a lot of fun.
Thank
So
you.
start out with your PowerPoints. Probably really 3 slides would do it, would be enough.
Right.
Okay? Very good, guys. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We're excited to help you out. It'll be a lot of fun. Thanks for your endorsement, Adam. Now they're all terrified of me. He's big and loud and hairy and he yells a lot.
Oh no, my books are in here.
All right, thanks, guys.